Apple just set a new standard, not just with the iPhones, but for how we think about mobile cameras. And here's the uncomfortable truth. For a lot of everyday mobile photography, this might finally be good enough to challenge the cameras that professionals use. That doesn't mean your DSLR or mirrorless camera is obsolete, but it does mean we need to rethink where a phone fits into real workflows. And as someone who actually uses the 16 Pro Max as part of my creative process, this new model caught my attention in a way that most of the other phone announcements haven't so far. Now, in my workflow, I used the 16 Pro Max for mainly two things: checking my photo colors for accuracy and occasionally editing full galleries on Lightroom Mobile when I'm away from my laptop or computer. But here's the issue: when editing for too long, the phone gets way too hot. It starts cooking. You know that thing when the brightness drops, the colors will shift, and that gets frustrating. But I'm glad now Apple finally took the hint, because on the 17 Pro they introduced a vapor chamber cooling unit, as well as a return back to the aluminum chassis phones. Aluminum dissipates heat better than titanium. Now, Apple returning back to that is a very savvy move. Now, what that means for us is that we can go outside and use our camera and edit in outdoors without the brightness taking such a major hit, as well as longer editing sessions without needing to pause so much. And so for working photographers, it's not just really a spec sheet upgrade, it's actual usability that'll translate into real world practice. Now let's talk about the actual camera hardware. They reworked the sensors on the front and back camera for larger pixel sizes, dynamic range, as well as better stabilization. They're also leaning heavier into computational photography, which I don't particularly like. But in reality, that's kind of okay because it's offset by the fact that we still have ProRAW. We're still able to turn on ProRAW and get more of a natural look out of the photos. What does this mean in real terms? You'll see better low light performance, sharper detail retention, and less noise and grain in tricky lighting situations. For casual shooters, that's huge. But for real photographers trying to make do, this begs the question, does it kind of replace anything, or is it still just a companion? Apple's biggest strength is still computational photography. Smart HDR, portrait mode refinements, AI-powered depth maps. These all give you images that are polished straight out of camera, but here's what matters to us, which is shooting in RAW. And obviously the 17 Pro models will continue to support that, but in my opinion, I don't think that it'll replace the type of raw photos that you get out of your actual mirrorless or full frame camera sensor, but you could argue it's definitely getting close. And here's where it gets interesting. Imagine this: you're at a wedding or portrait session. Normally you'd use your phone for behind the scenes video capturing, recording content, stuff like that. And now for me personally, with faster transfer speeds, this means I can actually show my clients previews a lot quicker than I could with the 16 Pro Max. I can imagine plugging my phone into my camera, getting those photos on there pretty quickly, and showing like the best types of shots to them real quick, so they could kind of imagine how it'll look like when it's edited. Add in the vapor chamber cooling and the better thermal management, and then using this for work actually it feels more realistic. No longer fighting the heat or throttling, no more fighting the display brightness going down, stuff like that. I'm sure it'll still go down, but not as quick as it used to. Now 10 minutes outside of the 16 Pro Max on full brightness, man, that thing is cooking. The thing would feel like an oven. But I think it'll mean that we can deliver photo galleries faster and really refine workflows, shorten the process of after a photo shoot, and sometimes even before, based on what you choose to do. Now let's be honest, no phone, not even the 17 Pro models, replaces a dedicated camera for professional work. Depth of field, sensor size, lens compression, and true dynamic range. These are things you can't just fully replicate computationally. But another thing I think is important is that now it's not just like a backup, it can fit right into a professional's workflow. Like, it fits into my workflow just fine, whether that's scouting, editing on the go, or delivering stuff to clients. And I think that's a big shift from literally just 1 year apart with the 16 Pro Max. So what does the iPhone 17 Pro mean for photographers? It's not going to replace your camera bag, but it is making itself more useful inside of it. Not that you're using a camera bag to hold your phone, pockets, obviously, but with better cooling, better screens, and smarter RAW files, I think this is becoming a better legitimate tool for professionals. And honestly, that's the direction photography is moving in, not particularly better tools or tools that replace stuff, but integration. Cameras for capturing, phones and laptops for editing, all working together in ways that make us faster and more flexible. Now, I'll be testing all that stuff out as soon as we get our hands on one. And now, let me know whether you actually see yourself using this thing or integrating it. I mean, I know a lot of people hate upgrading. That's one thing. Do you see yourself integrating something as small and something you use every day more into your workflow, or would it kind of remain just a backup tool for you? I don't know about them colors though. Orange? Man. No black this year is pretty tough, pretty sad honestly. Because I was thinking to myself, if how the new black, space black would look, but doesn't exist, so that's kind of crazy. Usually every year they do 4 different colors. But now that it's 3, I'm led to believe that they might drop another color or another few colors later on in the year or next spring. It's actually a really valid theory considering that they've done that type of thing before, and now that they're made out of aluminum again, it's going to be easier to produce. So I think we might see more colors. We're missing black, like a goldish color or natural titanium, as well as, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Black and gold. They have silver, orange, blue, black, gold. That would be interesting if they did that. And it would be a valid refresh since not a lot of people are probably going to get the 17s. It could probably motivate them if there was better colors out there, or colors that they like at least. The weird thing is blue, orange, and silver. Unique color palette, but what? I don't think they've ever done only 3 new colors in any year before. But hey, what they do is what they do, man. Standing desks, pretty good. Man, they're great. That's all I got in the bag for now. But yeah, peace.